Utopia shit. But since we here, let's jump into a little conspiracy thing. You know, I watch my podcast. You know, I be on everything. What conspiracy type shit is this? It's Diddy shit.
Nominated by Biden. And he is the U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of New York, which is probably the most powerful federal law enforcement officer in New York City. And it's a post that, I mean, cabinet members and judges and a lot of people have been that. If you're
it's a post for people that's on their way up.
New York, that's very prestigious. It doesn't get any
if
more
you in America, you've heard of this position of this person.
Law enforcement.
Whether it's
what does
prosecuting
it mean that he
Trump,
was the
whatever.
one who prosecuted Ghislaine?
Okay, so he was the guy. Ghislaine Maxwell's trial was carefully choreographed. They only called 4 witnesses, and those 4 witnesses had only been by Maxwell and Epstein.
Okay.
They didn't know
other people.
They didn't know about these other power brokers, and let me
And see now, hold on, wait 1 second.
They didn't
right?
know about.
Say, everybody been running around saying like, oh, they don't know this about the Epstein thing. These names ain't come out. And they's talking about them like really taking advantage of kids, right? Ain't a bunch of people walked away from them situations rich with positions and careers. And motherfuckers is more worried about what's going on with Puff and everything else than they is about some shit like that. But let them continue.
These other
Instagram, we getting out of here. I never get the full show.
So
gotta hit the link, tune in to
when
Twitch.
they testified,
come support us when we get paid.
They could only testify about Epstein and Maxwell. And what's really interesting, Damian Williams. I mean, he's part of the he's part of a very corrupt Democratic machine. He is the guy that is leading the P. Diddy investigation right now. He's the guy that's
Damian Williams.
Damian Williams, the guy that covered up Epstein and Maxwell, is the same guy that's going to be covering up P. Diddy. Those warrants were executed in Los Angeles and also in.
Y'all heard what he said? He said that. So whenever I talk about politics, I'll be like, yo, by the time a motherfucker get to a certain point, what he's saying is if they going through that Southern District of New York position as a federal prosecutor, they trying to go on their way up. And they corrupt and you can't trust them. Do I know this to be true? No. Do I think it's every person? Can't be. Can it be? I don't know. I mean, we as a human, I don't want to think that way. Sometimes, like, in certain positions, man, it do seem that motherfuckers be up to no good. But let's go back a little bit. Let them say it.
And Damian Williams, I mean, they testified.
Put his name out there.
They could only testify about Epstein and Maxwell. And what's really interesting, Damian Williams, I mean, he's part of the.
Why we don't want all the truth?
A very corrupt Democratic machine. He is the guy that is leading the P. Diddy investigation right now. He's the guy that's
Damian Williams.
Damian Williams, the guy that covered up Epstein and Maxwell, is the same guy that's going to be covering up P. Diddy. Those warrants that were executed in Los Angeles.
Which, once again, we all gotta feel like the Diddy thing and the Jeffrey Epstein thing shouldn't be tied in. It was very little, like there was no mistakes. There was no young girls at the club with fake IDs looking growner than a motherfucker. Like, there was none of that. That was real low down PD Fallingham activities. I don't think that I mean, I don't know everything. We shall find out, obviously, at this point, but I don't think that it's the same.
And also in Miami on P. Diddy's home, where they came out with a bunch of electronics. Okay, what's amazing is they were launched by Damian Williams. Now, why would a guy in New York City be executing search warrants in LA and Miami? And I'll tell you why. It's because I believe that P. Diddy, well, his homes were wired for audiovisual blackmail. Yes. And there were politicians and big-time celebrities and athletes. And I believe that people got compromised at his parties. And there has to be damage control. And Damian Williams is the damage control. Because Damian Williams is prosecuting that case, we know the fix is in. We don't know exactly what the fix is going to be, but I'll give you an idea of what the fix is going to be.
Okay.
P. Diddy is going to go down. Maybe some other lower echelon guys are going to go down. But none of the people that were, and there's been 8 lawsuits launched at P. Diddy, 8 civil lawsuits. 2 of them were minors at the time. And then Little Rod, the 5th lawsuit, he was a hip-hop producer.
You heard what he said, right?
He said that
2 of them were minors at the time. This is some 16, 17, or 18. I don't think 18 is necessarily legal. I'm not sure. 16, 17 probably. My God, if you from fucking New York, if you from any of these cities, these big fucking cities, and you ain't never seen, fuck P. Diddy, you ain't never seen them 16, 17-year-old girls running around the hood trying to fuck on the older dope boys. You from any of these places and you ain't never seen the 16, 17-year-old young niggas getting money, the older bitches fucking on them, you ain't from where the fuck you say you from. And I'm be honest with you, maybe it's just, but it ain't, and I don't know nobody that I know that'll look me in the face and tell me I'm lying. They might look you in the face and say that. Yeah, we never heard of this before. Shit's all new. And look, like I said, sometimes we don't fight for the whole truth, right? Everybody worry about what Diddy, but you don't know none of the names on the Epstein shit. You seen pictures, motherfuckers don't want to fight for the whole truth. But let it be R. Kelly. Let it be, and this for the people at the bottom, whether you white, black, Spanish, anything. You know nothing about life. You can't remember. You don't. You just want to pull somebody down that might have just came up, did better than you. Motherfuckers start to wonder why opportunities is few and far between. Like, damn, can't trust niggas. Niggas been lost their morality. Like I said, I don't care if you not actually doing activities. How many activities is you standing around and watching? How many times you watching somebody else treat somebody foul and ain't saying nothing? How many times you watching somebody else suffer a punishment that you know everybody else could suffer because everybody else do the same thing, but you on hush hush? You just ain't built like that. Can't wait to see a motherfucker going down, clapping. Let's dance around the fire. Another motherfucker that won, maybe got it out the mud, is going down.
P. Diddy always had minors. There were always minors there at his parties. And P. Diddy had these, like, what he called freak-offs, where I guess it was like a Roman back and all kind of a thing.
Who thinks is always minors at the party? Who think is always minors at the club? Some people might know something right there.
So, what's really...
And let me say this, because it'll be somebody watch a portion and go crazy. I'm not saying that it's okay. If you know somebody is underage and you can take advantage, you shouldn't do it. That just ain't the way it works. If you are a parent and you have a young son or a young daughter, somebody need to say, we need to start doing better jobs. Stop letting the YouTube, stop letting Twitch, stop letting all these other places raise your kids. Stop worrying about if the teachers at the school gonna do it. Stop just fucking to be fucking. Stop all that shit and focusing on your child, man. Because some of these young people is running into the wrong arms.
When you dig into P. Diddy's past, it's kind of interesting because he started Bad Boy Records with Clive Davis. And Clive Davis is a dirty, dirty guy. And people don't really know this about Clive Davis. There was a documentary about Clive Davis, and it showed that he was this benign octogenarian. I mean, it was like an infomercial. But Clive Davis, what's amazing, if you look into his criminal past, it's kind of mind-boggling. He's been indicted 3 times by the IRS.
I had never known none of that about Clive Davis. But I know they used to say back in the days that Clive Davis like had connections to the mafia. I hope I ain't making that up, but I kind of feel like that. Like, wasn't Clive Davis fucking with Mariah Carey at the time? Maybe I'm making that up. I don't know. But nevertheless, though, he said got an interesting. I'm thinking he about to say Clive Davis was doing Epstein shit. What he said? He did.
He's been indicted 3 times by the IRS for not paying his taxes, and then he's been indicted 3 times for fraud, not paying his taxes. Mm-hmm. And what payola is.
Wait a minute. This what niggas be connecting shit, because to some people crime is crime, right? So yo, let me tell you, especially if you from the bottom and you in the streets, some people think if you sell crack, you will burglarize something. Most of the crack dealers I know look down on burglary. It's different places. I never seen a rape. I never been a part of a rape. None of my homies ever raped a chick and came and told me. Rape ain't something that niggas indulge in because they do crime. A lot of dudes in the streets do not rob regular people, citizens. They don't rob the guy that got a job like, get your child, like, bro, hold on. They be robbing other street. Like, all crimes don't connect. Clive Davis started, he was doing fraud. Who the fuck ain't did fraud and scamming? We done had everybody. Bro, y'all bugging out. We done had presidents, they kids, family members, senators, Republican and Democrat. We done had every big business motherfuckers, PPP loan. Who the fuck ain't scamming and embezzling? Come on, my nigga. Niggas out here selling their food stamps. Fuck is we talking about? Yo, imagine if they figured out all the food stamps that niggas was selling. They was tracking them and then came and laid all that on you. Hey, yo, you know over the past 10 years, you had sold $20,000 worth of food stamps, nigga. You know how much time you could get in jail? Everybody else that sold food stamps to start jumping. Yeah, you stupid motherfucker. Like, imagine that person got lit. And now they coming after him because he sold food stamps. You still down there like, yeah, tear him down. Can't believe he sold those food stamps. Holy fuck. You can't connect.
It's against the law, but it's radio station, record companies giving money to radio stations to play
music.
Yeah. And it was outlawed in 19...
Now, this is how wild he is. He said, yo, he was getting in trouble for giving radio stations money to play the songs. Who in hip-hop, around hip-hop, listening, who in hip-hop culture don't know that that's what happens? He said it was a law, it was outlawed. When, nigga, that's what the fuck they do. The payola shit. Like, they been doing that forever. Niggas in the trenches trying to come up, go to spots and play DJs to try to. Is that regular? Imagine they start taking niggas down for that and the other record labels is watching them like, yeah, the third, yeah. No, they coming. Maybe not for you or me. We ain't got shit. We low budget and you love it. So what is the real conspiracy here? Is they saying whatever footage they got, they not going to expose it on some particular people? Like they did with the Epstein thing? Or was Carl Winslow really hanging out at them parties? We shall continue to cover it.